A non-governmental organization says the young adults perceive domestic violence problems as grievous, whereas older persons regard land problems the same way. A 2023 report of the organization notes that domestic violence and land problems mostly affect people living in rural areas, while employment and housing are more prevalent in urban areas. Judiciary correspondent Celestina Ira has more on this.
In Nigeria, people experience various legal problems in their daily lives. The 5 most common are disputes with neighbors, domestic violence, land disputes, crime, and housing problems. Among these disputes with neighbors are the most common legal problems faced by Nigerians in the past year. These amount for over 50% of all neighbor-related problems, as the COVID-19 pandemic and related lockdown may have contributed to its rise in the neighborhood problems. The second most prevalent legal problem category in Nigeria is domestic violence. This most often takes the form of emotional or psychological abuse, physical violence, and economic deprivation. These specific problem categories amount for over 80% of all domestic violence problems. According to the Justice Needs and Satisfaction in Nigerian 2023 reports, in Nigeria, people frequently turn to their inner cycle to resolve most of their pressing legal problems and often seeking help from family and friends. This can be due to several reasons, owing to no access to justice, funds to procure lawyers, and the time frame of which they can get justice due to the long adjournment of the case. To bridge this gap, the NJN 2023 report outlined the challenges and provides solutions faced by Nigerians in getting justice.
Where things that are unfair happen to you, who do you turn to? People go to the police, but the police you're going to, have they been trained on resolving justice issues? The religious leaders are turned to more than lawyers. That's what the research shows us. Traditional rulers, when it comes to land matters in the rural areas, are turned to more than lawyers. So they need to start talking to each other in that ecosystem to maybe see how best to make the Nigerian person more comfortable about receiving justice, not just which institution has power over the other.
To look at constitutional amendments in order to maybe electoral matters should go to a court that could be designated as a constitutional court. It will just be a court set up to deal with those matters, thereby freeing these other courts and allowing the judges and justices, increase the number of justices of the Court of Appeal and the High Court. But then beyond just doing that, you have to empower the courts.
Access to justice is a right of every citizen, irrespective of a social or political class. However, studies have shown that citizens living in the rural area have difficult access to justice. These reports outline the problems they face and also provide solutions on how justice can be brought to them. Celestina Ira, TVC News, Abuja.